July 1864, the Civil War was heating up, and not just because it was summer in Georgia. Union General William Tecumseh Sherman was on a mission to capture Atlanta, a crucial Confederate stronghold and the heart of the South's war industry. But standing in his way was Confederate General John Bell Hood, a man who never met a full frontal assault he didn't like. What followed was one of the most dramatic, chaotic, and downright explosive battles of the war. Welcome to the Battle of Atlanta, where the Union marched, the Confederates charged, and the city learned that wooden buildings and artillery don't mix well. Sherman had spent the summer of 1864 doing what he did best, making life miserable for the Confederates. His three armies, totaling about 100,000 men, had been maneuvering through Georgia, forcing Confederate forces to retreat again and again. Then came Hood, recently promoted to command the Army of Tennessee, who decided that retreating wasn't his style. His plan? Attack, and, just for variety, attack some more. On July 22nd, Hood launched a massive counterattack against Sherman's forces, hoping to catch them off guard. The Confederates moved under the cover of thick woods, sneaking into position for what they hoped would be a devastating flank attack. The problem? The Union Army had been doing their homework. Instead of finding an exposed Union flank, the Confederates ran into well-prepared defenses. Surprise! Fierce fighting erupted all along the Union lines, with soldiers battling in dense forests, trenches, and even inside the city streets. One of the most intense clashes took place near the Troop Hurt House, where Union troops fought desperately to repel wave after wave of Confederate attackers. It was hand-to-hand combat at its ugliest, with bayonets, rifle butts, and probably some very impolite language being exchanged. Despite the Confederates' relentless charges, the Union Army held firm. Then came the moment that could have changed everything. Union General James B. McPherson, one of Sherman's best commanders, was riding near the front lines when he stumbled into a group of Confederate skirmishers. When they ordered him to surrender, McPherson tipped his hat, turned his horse, and tried to ride away. Sadly, the Confederates shot him down, making him the highest-ranking Union officer killed in battle. Sherman, devastated by the loss, still had a battle to win. He quickly reorganized his forces and ordered counterattacks. Union troops under General John "Blackjack" Logan, furious over McPherson's death, launched a ferocious counterstrike that pushed the Confederates back. By nightfall, Hood's attack had completely failed, and the Confederates had lost nearly 8,000 men, casualties they couldn't afford. The Battle of Atlanta was a disaster for the Confederacy. Hood had gambled on an aggressive attack, but all he got was a battered army and a Union force still closing in on the city. Less than 6 weeks later, on September 2, 1864, Sherman officially captured Atlanta, just in time for Abraham Lincoln to use the victory as a political boost in the upcoming election. Talk about perfect timing. The Battle of Atlanta was a turning point in the war. It shattered Confederate resistance in Georgia, boosted Union morale, and paved the way for Sherman's infamous March to the Sea. The battle also made it painfully clear that attacking well-fortified positions wasn't a great idea, something Hood apparently never quite learned. Today, Atlanta is a thriving metropolis, but in 1864, it was a battlefield. A place where bravery, strategy, and, let's be honest, some really bad decisions shaped the future of the nation. And if there's one lesson to take from the Battle of Atlanta, it's this. Always double-check before you charge into enemy lines, and maybe, just maybe, don't pick a fight with William Tecumseh Sherman.